The Benjamin Dixon Show is only possible with listener support. Go to www.patreon.com/The BPD Show.
Good morning and welcome to the Benjamin Dixon Morning Show. It is Wednesday. It is May 25th, 2022. I am calling in remotely, and I had to call in this morning before we begin the regular show so that we could speak about what happened, what transpired yesterday. 19 children, the latest report, 19 children and 2 adults have been killed in Texas as a result of another mass shooting. Mass shootings have become so commonplace in this country that we can cover this on autopilot, but we dare not do that out of respect for the families. But it happens so frequently that about 2 years ago, I realized that I've covered so many mass shootings that I'm repeating the same thing over and over again. And if I had to be completely transparent, one of the biggest challenges for me in this industry, particular me personally, in this industry specifically, is having to constantly talk about children being massacred and then seeing politicians play games with the lives of our children. And I would like for them to understand what that's like. I do believe fervently that if politicians had the same fear as children in 5th grade, then we would get changes. But politicians have no fear in this country because they're able to pass laws within 24 hours. When a handful of white women showed up at the Supreme Court justice's home in protest of the forthcoming Roe versus Wade decision, they dressed up like Handmaid's Tale, like the show. It was a very demonstrative and creative protest. That was seen as such a threat to the life and well-being of the Supreme Court justices that within 24 hours of that event, all of Washington, D.C., the House, the Senate, worked to pass legislation to protect the Supreme Court justices. We have had more children die at schools than police officers in the line of duty. We have had, it is more dangerous for children to go to school than it is for them to be active military. And yet we're dealing with a nation where we're going to do this again next week. Because last week we have yet to bury the 10 black people who were gunned down in the white supremacist, racist hate crime last week in Buffalo. Those bodies are not even buried yet. And yet now we have to mourn and grieve the lives of so many children between 2nd and 5th grade. And now we have to endure Republicans doing the usual. They're going to shift this because this young man was brown and had a brown-sounding name, the shooter. We're going to now engage with Republicans talking about immigration when this boy was born in the United States of America. The shooter was born in North Dakota. He got his gun from a manufacturer called Daniel Defense. Daniel Defense. They are nicely situated on I-16 between Atlanta, Georgia, and Savannah, Georgia. I know where their offices are, and I do plan on making a trip with a camera crew. Go to patreon.com/The BPD Show to support that because we don't have time to talk about this anymore. It's time to pull up. Shout out to act.tv. With whom this is not possible, go to act.tv/join because I'm going to take some camera crews with me from act.tv if we can get this arranged. Because I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired, just like I know everybody in the audience is sick and tired of being sick and tired. There can be something that is done, but we have to eradicate, rhetorically and politically speaking, these monsters who have no compunction about stepping on the lives of slain children. I remember Sandy Hook very clearly. I was a teacher at the time in Jacksonville, Florida. It was the Friday before Christmas break. And we were outside playing basketball. I brought the students back in and got an alert on my phone that a mass shooting had just occurred. I believe in my numbers, if my memory serves me right, it was about 14 children who were killed right before Christmas break. And you know what these bastards said? Do you know what these soulless gullums said? Joe the Plumber, Republican hero at the time, said, "Your dead children do not give you the right to infringe on my Second Amendment rights." These are the same soulless bastards who send their children out into the pandemic without masks and without a vaccine. So if you think for 1 second these people have a place in their heart that can be reached, think again. They are unreasonable, and we are far past the time of being reasonable with unreasonable people. They are murderous, and we don't have time to negotiate with terrorists. The only thing we have time left to do is chase every one of these devils out of office. From lobbyists, Joe Biden, if you don't step up, we need to chase you out of office too. Whoever uses their power in this moment to genuflect, deflect, or delay is an enemy of our children. Every one of these politicians running around talking about grooming and pedophilia, we know they protest too much. Al does protest too much. We know where the groomers are. The Southern Baptist Convention just released a study of over 300 instances of sexual abuse in their church, across their churches. We know where this is coming from. And it is time out for us to be trying to be reasonable with unreasonable people, to be logical with illogical people, or to be civil with people who would just as soon be like Paul Gosar and take a rumor from 4chan. And instead of this elected representative who is in Washington, D.C., getting paid about $200,000 a year off of your taxpayer dollars, instead of him using his fully funded staff to do some actual research, he took a rumor from 4chan and tried to blame the shooting yesterday on a trans leftist. Because in the midst of all of this suffering and sorrow, don't forget Republicans still want to make you afraid and hate the trans community. So I would like to just say this, act.tv and everyone forget, but absolutely F, I'm going to hold it together, F trying to triangulate into bipartisanship with monsters. The very first line of defense is to get every single one of them out of power. Yes, that means you have to vote and nobody wants to vote. Because what have the Democrats done for us? But I tell you what we're going to have to do for ourselves, protect ourselves from all of them. Republicans and Democrats who won't protect our children. Republicans and Democrats who won't protect the right to choose. Republicans and Democrats who won't protect the right to vote for the love of God. And especially Republicans and Democrats who won't protect black people from being killed and gunned down by these racist incels and virgins. These people, for the lack of having sex, they're going out of their minds because they believe that they are entitled to women's bodies. And so instead of seeking mental health counseling, they go to elementary schools and gun down innocents so that they can exact so much pain on us. It is time that we exact that type of political pain on every single elected official, every lobbyist, every organization, every association that is allowing our children to be gunned down like lambs to the slaughter. We have to let them know that there are lions amongst these lambs, and we're going to come after them because they're coming after our children. David, I'm going to use the rest of the time to the show as it is prepared. I am going to do my best to get out in front of Daniel Defense. Daniel Defense is the manufacturing company that produced the AR-15 that was used yesterday. And if you guys can support us, patreon.com/the BPD show or act.tv/join, wherever you want to send your support, we are going to go and be in their faces because enough is enough, and I ain't got nothing else to say. It's time to pull up. David and Dwayne, it's in y'all hands. The rest of the team will be here throughout the day. I am still going to be remote for some time. Thank you to everybody on the team who is holding down the fort while I am away, but we are still working, and I'll see you guys next time.